So here we're looking at cocoa rows, and you can see how that's all flattened out. The rice is so tall, it tends to flop over. It's too top heavy. So you can smell this. It's a little bit aromatic. Rice, for the most part today, is just thought of as like a commodity grade cheap carb, which for us it's absolutely not. It's tough because by far and large, rice farming in California is done by a handful of really large conglomerates. So you're competing with people who will be packaging everything from Nishiki rice to Trader Joe's rice to Kirkland's rice. And these are all done at very, very large mills in Northern California. So we feel that we're unique in that we're family owned, we're small, we're highly attuned to quality, we're hands-on, we maintain our own seed program, and we can monitor the overall quality to make sure that it's consistent and up to essentially our grandfather's standards. For my brother and I, that's our overriding priorities. Hold to the family hallmarks. My grandfather, not being the firstborn son, knew that he really didn't have a substantial future in terms of the family business in Japan, so he immigrated to California to seek his fortune like so many other immigrants. After coming to California in 1908, he started moving up and down the state, trying his hand at different ventures. In the late 20s, mid to late 20s, started to look for land to buy in the name of his American-born children, because at that time there was already the alien land law, which essentially discriminated against Chinese and Japanese, Asian, Filipinos, Asian immigrants to prevent them from owning land. So for a very short time there was actually a loophole where you could buy land in the name of your American-born offspring. So he did that, and he, of course, started looking for farmland up in the area where he was initially farming in the north of Sacramento. But the land was highly developed, considered very desirable, and there's already a lot of, well, obviously anti-Asian sentiments. So no one would sell land to him. So he just literally started moving south down the state until he found someone who would sell him the size of tract of land he wanted. By World War II, the internment, they wanted to shut the business down to keep it intact because they knew it wasn't going to be good. The government actually stepped in, mandated that they stay open under the guise of producing fibers, which we've always found sort of strange. But anyway, to stay open and operate, it literally meant they had to sign over POA to third party, to non-Asians. So that happened, and those people essentially dismantled the farm as fast as they could. By the time they came back from the internment, the farm had literally been sold off. There was about 1,000 acres left of not very great land. The farm, the processing plant, the mill, the warehousing, the homes, all the best equipment had been sold off. My grandfather, being super tenacious, he still had 1,000 acres, and he said, well, you know, I'm going to set up shop just a quarter mile down the road, and that's what he did. My mother now is 92, my father is deceased, so my mother is literally Nisei, the second generation. I'm still living with essentially someone who experienced the internment, was in the camps herself, and still feels this weight, even though it's unspoken. She still feels this weight of still trying to catch up, still trying to make up for lost ground. So I feel that on a daily basis. I mean, just living here on the farm, I'm surrounded by daily reminders of what my predecessors went through. Literally from the dryer that stands here right in their front yard that was built in the 1950s after the war. Everything has significance, and so you cannot escape that unless you literally leave the farm. My brother has 2 young daughters, but my brother and I always grew up telling ourselves that we would never harness our children to say, like, you are obligated to do that. Life is full of options and you should do what you want to do. But so the future, who knows what the future holds for our farm.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.